And so anyway, I want to say good morning and welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. If you are not Black and intelligent, you may want to get the fuck out, because this is not going to be the place for you. This is not a place that's going to make you happy. This is probably a place that's going to confuse you and frustrate you, because dumb people get frustrated when you don't repeat the same propaganda that they've been hearing in mainstream media. All of the solutions, everything that I lay out for you guys, I want to make sure you know this. I lay it out with Blackness in mind. I kind of lay it out in a way that is going to help us solve unique problems that we have in our community. Also, I'm not real good at sitting around complaining about how hard it is to be Black. I'd rather see our enemies complain about how hard it is to compete with Black people. That's what I want to see. I want to see people, I want to see people complaining because they're saying, they're saying, oh my God, these Black people are so competitive and they're so on top of their game and they own everything. They have all the wealth because these damn Black people are out here, buying all the businesses and making all these investments and inheriting all this money. All they're doing is inheriting money because all they do is they pass the money down to their kids and they don't let anybody else have access to it, and they buy up these whole neighborhoods and don't let anybody else own anything there. That's what I want to hear. That's my dream. Martin Luther King had a dream. I got a different dream. My dream is for Black people to be economically powerful. I don't really care about the integration dream. That dream never meant anything to me because that was a bunch of BS. That was a dream that really, I'm sitting there trying to figure out why y'all trying to get up next to a bunch of folks who are known around the world for being terrorists and rapists and robbers and pillagers and immoral. Like, why are you trying to be next to all that? Why you want that to be your legacy? That's not what you were back in Africa. That's not what you were in Egypt and all the other places, right, in Ghana and everywhere else that we come from. So I don't want to be that. I want to actually be something different, something special. Now, do me a favor as we get started. Please hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please hit the thumbs up button. Also, if you're on Facebook, please share this video. It's very important. This is a really important conversation, and because I'm about to break something down for you and not just give you an opinion. I'm going to give you mathematics to kind of back it up. I'm going to give you some facts and information that will back it up. But it's something that you probably haven't heard in too many other places, but you're going to hear it now. You're going to hear it today. And I'm not telling you that it's the absolute gospel. I'm just here to tell you that you probably want to consider this as you move forward. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing that I know. I'm going to talk about going to college versus simply learning how to invest, buy real estate, start businesses, things like that. I'm going to compare the two. And I want you to kind of see it from this point of view. The other method that people are using, the method that the majority of people are using, the method that the majority of people are telling each other to do is clearly not working. It's not working. How many of you have a college degree and are pissed off because of the debt? How many of you are in student loan debt? Raise your hand. Yes or no? How many of you are in student loan debt? And then also give me a yes or no. How many of you have a college degree and feel kind of like you got cheated a little bit? Like it didn't quite give you what you thought it was going to give you? Yes or no? Or am I in that category? Just say something, say, yeah, I got screwed or whatever, right? How many of you believe that the pathway that to so-called success that Black people have been taught for the last 40 years to go to school and get a good job is not working as well as they promised us that it would? Yes or no? Raise your hand. Right, I see a lot of people saying that. Now, I want to make sure I'm 100% clear as I get started. Please hit the thumbs up button also. Please hit that thumbs up button. It's really important because I want people to hear this conversation. The more thumbs up you hit, the more you share this video, the more people will hear this important information because they're not going to get it from nowhere else. I'm not saying, and I'm going to repeat this probably 8,000 times because you know how it is when you share a message that is different from the masses, when you share a message that's different from the mainstream, people misinterpret your message. They will take the words out of your mouth and literally translate them to another language that you never spoke. I get so much credit for saying so many things that I never said. They can't find video evidence of me ever saying these things, but they'll say, well, Dr. Boyce said that black people shouldn't vote. I never said black people should not vote. I said black people should make sure that they're voting for the right reasons and that you should vote for the candidates that make you want to vote for them, right? Misinformation is a big deal. It's rampant. It's something that people do. I mean, that's the number one. That's a huge weapon. Fake news, fake information, right? You discredit people if you don't like their message or it makes you uncomfortable. So let me make this clear. I am not saying you should not go to college. So if somebody runs around and says, yeah, I know Boyce Watkins, he's that guy out here telling black people they shouldn't go to college. I ain't telling you not to go to college. Now, are we in agreement? Give me a yes or no. I need a yes or no. Are we in agreement that I am not telling you right now to not go to college? Am I telling you to not go to college? Yes or no? Give me a yes or no. Okay. We understand each other. All right. So as we get started, here's the deal. As you guys know, I've been a college professor for a long time. I taught my first college class when I was 22 years old at Indiana University, which was a really good business school. And I taught mathematics at the University of Kentucky for a couple of years when I finished my master's in math. I also taught at Ohio State University, the University of Rochester, Syracuse University. I taught in China. I also taught in Europe, and now I run the Black Business School. Okay. So I know the system really well, right? I know the value of a degree. I've had I got too many of them. I got several degrees that I could hang on my wall if I wanted to. I just don't do that. If you want to see my PhD and know that it's a real PhD, it's not one of these bullshit PhDs people get, going to school part-time on the internet. Like, no. This is a PhD that requires 7 or 8 hours of studying per day, every day, 365 days a year, including Christmas, until I was 31 years old. That's what it is. So when you have that kind of experience, it makes you a little weird, right? I'm a weird guy, and I own that. I own that because weird to me just means that you're. Well, if the amount of information I have shoved in my brain is at an astronomical level, like an insane level, most people don't study 7 hours a day all through their 20s, their entire 20s. A lot of people are partying, chilling, kicking it with women, whatever the hell they do, right? If you're living a life like that, you're going to be a little different. It's like a kid who's on the basketball court 10 hours a day for 12 straight years is probably going to be a different kind of basketball player. He's probably going to have some abilities that other people don't have. Not that he's better than anybody. I'm not better than nobody, but some of the things that come out of my mouth are going to seem strange because I've got microscopic insights into certain things that other people just simply do not understand. They look at it on the surface level, and the quickest response is, oh, well, you're full of crap and you're an idiot. And it just makes me, that's why I laugh. Like when people who know nothing about finance will come in and tell me that everything I say about finances is bullshit and he's lying and misleading people. Come on, man, get out of here. Shut up. Go back to, like you have a PhD in haterology. You got a player hater degree, whatever it is. Like you are an expert in haterology. So you just go hate. Like that's what you're good at. That's what your skill is. My skill is finance. Your skill is hating. So just go focus on that. So I preface my conversation with all that just to make sure we're clear on where this is coming from. And this is not coming from an I hate college kind of perspective or college is always bad kind of point of view. I'm not a person who believes that. But here's the deal. Black wealth is dropping. Has anybody read, yes or no? Have you read the studies that say black wealth is going to drop to zero by 2053, median black wealth? Now, when they say black wealth will drop to zero, yes or no? Have you seen that study? When they say that black wealth is dropping to zero by 2053, in case you don't know, there's a study, all these studies, it's out there, everybody's talking about it, that black wealth is expected to drop to zero by the year 2053. Well, when they say that, they're not saying that every black person will have zero wealth. They're not saying all black wealth will go to zero. What they're saying is that the median African American, meaning that if you have, 11 people, you put 5 on this side, 5 on that side, the one in the middle is the median, right? The median is the middle person. The median African American is going to have zero wealth. That means that half of the group will be on the negative side and half of the group will be on the positive side. And there will also be extremes. There are going to be people that have extremely negative debt, like negative, negative 10 million net worth. They're going to be people that have extremely positive net worth, like positive 10 million, right? So it's going to be extremes. It's going to be like a bell curve, like a distribution. And so the thing about it is that they talk about this issue as if they don't understand it completely, or they talk about the issue as if there either is no solution or there's only one solution. When they talk about the issue, they point out, very real, very relevant factors. Like they'll say, black unemployment is extraordinarily high. Corporations are not paying workers what they used to pay them, that the real wage of the average American worker has actually dropped, which is true. Job security isn't what it used to be. The cost of living is going up. They'll talk about things like that, but they really, I don't think, dig to the heart of the issue, and they don't really sort of point out sort of what the real issue is. And then for you as an individual, I think it's important for you to understand that your fate as an individual, while it is connected to the fate of the Black community, it is not in lockstep with the fate of the Black community. So for example, if I tell you that a lot of Black males, a lot of young Black males are going to prison, that does affect your son. It does mean that your son should be careful, but it does not mean that your son is going to go to prison, right? Do you follow what I'm saying? If I tell you, a lot of young brothers are going to prison now, that doesn't mean that your son's going to prison, right? But as an individual, your next step is to say, wow, a lot of young Black males are going to prison. How do I make sure that my son is not one of the young Black men going to prison? You follow me, right? So the same thing is true. So if I say that the median Black American is going to have zero wealth by the year 2053, according to these projections, your next question should be, how do I make sure that I'm not in that group? How do I make sure that my family is not reflective of that statistic? That's what they call being a statistic, right? Like, how do I make sure that I'm not a statistic with my family, that me and my family, that we're doing okay. In fact, me and my family could be balling, right? Because here's the thing, there are Black people out here that are doing very well. And it's not because they're sellouts and coons and Uncle Toms all the time. It's not because somebody handed them a silver spoon. It's not because they just got lucky. A lot of times it's because the vast majority of us as Black people, the majority of the masses of Black people, and this is true for, I think, a lot of groups, they move like sheep. Whatever everybody else is doing, that's what they do. Everybody, all the other Black people are voting for. Remember, think about the Obama presidency. In the beginning of the Obama presidency, they could not get Black people to vote for Barack Obama. They just couldn't. They were like, how do we get Black people to recognize that this guy might be a viable candidate, or at least better than Hillary Clinton? They couldn't figure it out. Why? Well, because the masses of Black people were following other Black people, and all the Black people were voting for Hillary Clinton. But then what happened was something changed in the tide. It suddenly became trendy to love Barack Obama. So then suddenly all the masses, sheep, all went in the same direction, like the electric slide. Anybody ever see the masses of Black people that run to the dance floor when the electric slide starts playing? It's like a triggered reaction, like Pavlov's dog in psychology. Pavlov's dog was his dog that was trained to salivate every time they rang a bell because they would make him think he was going to get food, right? So we got that triggered reaction, right? They start playing that song, that get funky, do. Y'all know the song. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Anybody know that song, right? When they start playing that song, like I observe. I'm of the Black community, but I'm a little bit outside of it, where I like to watch what Black people are doing and how Black people are reacting to things. And so because I can't dance, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm a hater because I just can't dance. But I will sit there and I will watch how, oh my God, like, look at all these people rushing to the dance floor, like they have to get on the dance floor because this song is on. And it's fascinating to me. It's like, wow. So here's the thing. Here's where I'm getting at. Here's where I'm going with this. The reason Black wealth is going to zero is because the masses of the Black community are all doing the same thing. The reason Black wealth, median Black wealth, the reason Black wealth for the median African American will be zero by 2053, and I can't really change that by myself. I need a bigger platform to do that. Somebody gave me $10 million, I could create a bigger platform and go and reach more people. But we work with what we have. But the reason median Black wealth will go to zero is because the majority of Black people are doing the same thing, and that same activity, that same set of actions, is putting them each in debt. Each of them are like little sheep just walking off a cliff, and they feel safety. There's safety in numbers. A lot of people feel safe, and I've studied literally in finance. We actually have theories on this. It's called a herding effect. A herding effect is where you feel safe doing what everybody else is doing because you feel safety in numbers. Everybody could be doing the same dumb shit, but because you want to fit in and you don't want anybody to think you're weird, you just do the same dumb shit as everybody else. Because then if all of you go off the cliff as sheep, do one after the other, then you can say, well, yeah, I did go off the cliff, but look at how many other people went off the cliff. So you feel safer, you feel more secure, you feel better about the fact that there were, 1,000 other people that went off the cliff with you. When the reality is that we need a few people that are going to kind of say, wait a minute, this don't even make no sense. Hold up, like I'm not doing that shit. In fact, a lot of times the Black folks that end up doing well financially, I notice, are the ones who don't act like other Black people, who don't fit into the Black community. It sounds weird, but a lot of times they'll be like, no, we don't do that in our house. Like my parents were like that. My parents are kind of conservative, I guess, but they're Black, grew up in the hood, lived the Black experience. Get with the family, beat barbecue chicken, like just, the white man is a piece of shit. Like that's that, like we saw all that growing up. I saw my dad talk about white people and how they behave and all that. But their approach was just a little different. They would just sort of be like, I don't really care what so-and-so's mama is doing down the street. You're not gonna go. Or I don't care if your cousins didn't get in trouble for stealing the candy bar. You're going to get your ass whooped, right? Like that was our household, right? It was like, we're going to do what makes sense, and it's going to be independent of what everybody else is doing, because we ain't trying to be trendy. We're trying to be correct. We're not trying to be politically correct. We're trying to just be correct, right? So with that said, that is the psychology behind why Black wealth is going to go to zero for the median African American. And I can't change this by myself. I can, maybe if you guys help me, share the video, tell everybody, start these conversations, but I can't change it by myself. But I'm literally watching people just walk over a cliff one by one. So this platform, again, as I tell you guys, is for intelligent Black people who think for themselves, who are looking for solutions, who can at least agree with me that the current methods are not working. So if you agree with me that the current methods are not working, then that at least means that whatever you try to do, you're going to do something different. Whatever you try to do, you're not going to do the same shit everybody else is doing, right? Whatever you try to do, you're not going to be a sheep, right? I don't care if you still go off the cliff. You might still go off the cliff too, but at least you went off the cliff by going west when everybody else went off the cliff by going east. We know east is going to get you off the cliff. So you tried west, it didn't work out, but I'm still proud of you because at least you were thinking for yourself, right? So before I move on, hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. Also, don't forget this podcast is on iTunes. So if you go to iTunes and you look for my name, you can find the podcast on iTunes. Also, a reminder, I'll be in Philadelphia May 19th doing a day-long financial Juneteenth investing seminar. So if you want to know more, it's really going to be great. We're going to go through everything from building the 100-year plan for your family, how to turn your child into a millionaire, how to buy your first, second, third, and fourth shares of stock, how the stock market works. We're going to spend the whole day in a small group setting, and all we're going to talk about is investing. And I'm going to lay it out there and give you everything I can possibly give you. So if you're interested, you can go to drboycephiladelphia.com. That's drboycephiladelphia.com. So if you think about traveling there, I think it's worth the trip. It'll be worth the trip. Super Tech says overspending, not budgeting, keeping up with impossible trends. I see it all the time. You can't fool the calculator. That is true. And thank you for your donation, Super Tech. I appreciate that very, very much. Okay, so moving on. So here are a few issues, that you're aware of, but I'll give you some insights into them, into why college has just has not become what it used to be. It's not what it used to be anymore. One is the student loan debt crisis. Student loan debt is arguably one of the leading factors in why Black wealth is going to drop to zero. Most people can't come up with $1,400 to get their car fixed, let alone $70,000 to pay back a student loan. They just can't do it. Blabbermouth says, can you do a seminar in Atlanta? I could, but I got to get some evidence that people are going to want to come out. It costs a lot of money to travel and stuff. And that's why I do a lot of stuff from home. But I'll see how Philadelphia goes. And then if I like what happens in Philly, then we'll consider other cities too. But honestly, I like being right here because my woman's right upstairs and I get to still do what I'm supposed to do at home and all that and still talk to you. So we do digital seminars a lot. Make sure you join the blackbusinessschool.com so that you can be a part of the things that we do in the Black Business School. But student loan debt has become a huge issue. Basically, student loan debt is a massive wealth transfer. It's like lottery tickets in a way. When Black people get student loan debt, especially when they go to private universities or they don't graduate, which is actually the majority of Black college students do not graduate. Ask most older people, like, did you graduate from college? A few of them are going to say yes, but a lot of them are going to say, oh, I went to college 2 years and then I dropped out because I had the baby or because I went to go work for a while. And then 20 years later, they still never went back, but the debt stayed, right? So the chance to get the degree disappeared, but the debt stayed with them, right? And because you've got more immediate things to deal with, you've got the debt kind of has to go on the back burner, right? Tell me if you know anybody like that. Do you know anybody who went to college for a couple of years and then dropped out, or do you know several people like that? Yes or no? A lot of us do. I know I do. And so the student loan debt has become one of the greatest impediments to the growth of Black wealth. And so the massive amount of debt you take on to go to school, what that means is it doesn't mean you don't go to college. Again, I want to reiterate, I'm not telling people not to go to college. Don't ever repeat that I'm saying that. I'm not saying that at all. It just means that student loan debt is an investment like anything else. It's like buying a business. So you go to college and you spend $250,000 going to USC or Syracuse University or some other university. That means you're buying a $250,000 business. That business had better be generating some serious money, because in fact, it doesn't even cost you really $250,000. Actually, if you add in 4 years of lost wages, then you can up the price to maybe about $500,000, right? So you're spending $500,000 on a business. And imagine if you went out and dropped $500,000, you went $500,000 in debt to go buy a company, and that company made you $0. Or imagine if you spent $500,000 to go buy a company and the company got you a job working at Applebee's or whatever, right? I mean, would you consider that to be a worthy investment? No, you would not. I mean, would you go and would you feel like that was a good move, or would you feel like, well, you know what, I could have gotten this job with a high school diploma? I can tell you this, as a person who's hired a lot of people, I don't hire people based on whether they have a degree. I give zero shits if you have a degree. In fact, sometimes you having a degree can be a liability, not because I have a bias against college graduates, but because I'm sitting here trying to figure out, okay, where's your head at? Are you a person who makes the mistake like I did when I was in college, makes the mistake of thinking that because you got this piece of paper that you're worth more money to a company? No, a business owner needs a person who can solve problems. A business owner needs a person who can get the damn job done, not sit here and tell you that they have all these expectations in terms of money and everything else because they've got this piece of paper handed to them by some white man at some university who never ever actually ran a business his damn self. Most college professors, this is a little secret to you guys, especially, I was a business school professor in finance. That was my area. Most college professors have never run a business. Most business school professors have never run a business in their life. Most business school professors don't even know how to start a business. A lot of them have never worked for a corporation. So I'm not saying that they don't know anything. The theory has value. The theories that we taught were very valuable, but it was the real life experience that had more value when it came to solving real problems. And the thing about being Black in America is that you only have so much room to live in a theoretical world. Theory only goes so far when you're trying to pay the rent and feed the goddamn kids. Theory only goes so far when you're trying to figure out how to not get evicted this month. Like theory can only get you so far if you're starting a business and you got 3 months to become profitable and you need to figure out a way to sell, the cookies or the donuts in your donut shop in order to have enough money to pay, the mortgage and the lease on that building. Like theory only goes so far in the real world. And one of the things universities have done, and universities are very arrogant, that's why they've done this, is they become incredibly detached from the real world. I remember just being so frustrated when I was at Syracuse, because here I am, I'm a black man who's dealing with real black people shit. Like I'm having cousins calling me, telling me they got locked up, evicted, they need money, can't figure out how to get a job, can't trying to stay out of jail. I'm dealing with real shit. And I'm asking them, I'm like, well, I have this so-called success now. I'm a successful black man now. I'm air quoting because it was bullshit. I'm a successful black man now. So I have people in my community that need me. They need me to come back and teach financial literacy workshops. But I need you all to give me credit on my job, for doing this. Like tell me that this is a good thing so that I can know that this isn't going to hurt me. This is going to keep me from getting promotions. And they gave zero shits. They did not care. They did not care about any of that. And I remember being very frustrated about the fact that it seemed that academia encourages people, black scholars in particular, to detach from what's really going on in the black community. That's why you don't see scholars in the hood like that. Not scholars like go to schools like UCLA or Duke or whatever. And I want you to really go find me some black professors at Duke University or at Harvard or Stanford who are really for real out there really creating jobs for black people. Like for real, like really out there, really in the streets, really doing it. You don't really have that. The hood, it has to depend on people like a Nipsey Hussle, right? Nipsey Hussle ain't no PhD. Nipsey Hussle he was a Crip. You know what I mean? He's a good dude, a good man. And he cared about his community. But I tell you, if Nipsey Hussle had been, made, squared up and straight laced and put in on the UCLA campus, he would hear from people that would tell him like, well, you don't actually want to go around those people because bad things might happen to you. And those same people are sitting around saying, yeah, see what happens when you're around those people, right? So my point is to say that, when you look at the massive amount of debt, let's go back to the debt, and you go to the 4 years of lost wages, college is a massive investment. So I'm not telling you not to make that massive investment. What I'm saying is don't make that massive investment blindly. What I'm saying is, if you make that massive investment, when you make a massive investment, this is financial theory that I'm sharing with you guys. When you make a massive investment, the first thing you then have to do is make sure you hustle your ass off to get as much income out of that investment as you possibly can. If I go out here tomorrow and I borrow $500,000 to go buy a nightclub, then I bet I need to go bust my ass to go make sure that I have people filling up that club every Friday night, every Saturday night, so I can get that money back. I don't go and borrow $500,000 for an asset that does not generate me significant returns above and beyond that which I could have earned by not making that investment. So, for example, if I make a $500,000 investment in a college degree, remember again, the $250,000 that you spend going to school, at some of these schools, maybe it's less, maybe it's 150, depends, plus the 4 years of lost wages, which adds another $250,000. So here's the thing. When you make that kind of investment, it's fascinating to me how many of us are trained to make that investment and not understand the long-term consequences and implications of that investment. A lot of college students just go to college because that's what they were told to do. A lot of college students go to college, they don't study for shit. They spend more time working on practicing the step show than they spend actually getting ready for their tests. Huge mistake. Saw it all the time. It really bothers me. A lot of college students will go and make that $500,000 investment in college and will major in bullshit that doesn't matter to anyone except for their English literature professor. And then really for real will come out of college really thinking that somebody's going to pay, that a real business owner, many of whom don't have a college degree. You don't have to have a degree to be a business owner, but a lot of times you got to have a degree to go work for the business. Think about that. You ain't got to have the college degree to become the business owner. But sometimes you have to have the college degree in order to come work for the business, right? It depends, right? But then literally they'll come with this piece of paper. You don't spend 4 years in school. You spent $500,000 in 4 years in school, and you had a 2.5 grade point average, no work experience because you were spending your time either, sometimes in class, but also partying and studying, or partying and stepping and joining your fraternity, sorority, whatever. And you graduate with a piece of paper and you really think that makes you valuable. You think that is going to lead to you making more money than somebody who's got real skills. That you think that the boss is going to see you as more valuable than the person who sat there and hustled for 4 years and learned specifics on exactly how to do that job better than you, you're out of your damn mind. You know, like if I need somebody that can program the computer like nobody's business and can help me solve specific problems on my computer network, I don't care where you went to school. My question is, do you understand the computer language, and do you have experience solving this specific problem so we can keep our business going? I don't want to hear that you took that you were in college and you took a bunch of philosophy classes and that you joined the AKAs. That does not help me as a business owner. So sometimes what happens for Black folks is that when we start thinking we white, I'm not saying that going to college means you're acting white. What I'm saying is that sometimes we let white folks kind of tell us the secrets to success. And that's a big mistake right there. The things that help a white person succeed in America are not the same things that help a Black person succeed in America, because the white person is not coming from the same community that the Black person is coming from. The white person's community doesn't have the same needs that the Black community needs. The white community does not need more entrepreneurs. They've got plenty of them. They've got many businesses that have established an entire economy around which you can just go into the white economy as a pure employee. Black people don't have that. So Black people don't need more employees. We need more business owners to start the businesses so that our students can go to college and come out and look for a job and go to their own community to find a job. So the reality is that you're coming from a community that needs more basketball players. They come from a community that needs more football players. So you're coming out of your community playing football and not understanding why things aren't quite working the way you want, because you can't bring a football to a basketball court and think you're going to score any points. So you can't go as a Black person into this economy. Let me summarize this. You cannot go as a Black person into this economy only thinking like an employee, unless you do that to your own detriment. You can do that if you want to. Fine, I'm not telling you not to do it, but what I'm saying to you is that if you go into this economy as a Black person and you're only thinking as an employee, then you're going to be stuck working for white people. White people are going to control your destiny. You're going to be stressed out and frustrated if you can't handle the workplace racism, and your options are going to be extremely limited. So my point is that Black people have to, from a foundational standpoint, at the very least, have a fundamental understanding of investing, entrepreneurship, etc., and maybe even real estate, which is a type of investing, even if they get a college degree. Even if they get a college. So the argument I'm making here is more of a horse and carriage argument. Which is the horse, which is the carriage? The college degree or financial literacy? I argue that financial literacy is the horse, the college degree is the carriage. So if you have a carriage without a horse, there's a good chance you're going nowhere. But you can get by with a horse with no carriage. Do you feel me? Do you understand what I'm saying? Can y'all talk Black to me and let me know that you understand what I'm saying? If you have a horse with no carriage, you can still get down the road. It just might be a little uncomfortable. But if you have a carriage without a horse, your ass ain't going nowhere. So a Black person with a college degree is a person with a carriage but no horse. A person with financial literacy without a college degree has a horse with no carriage. So what might be ideal? What might be ideal possibly is to have a horse and a carriage. But you get the goddamn horse before you go get the carriage. Don't think that having a carriage alone is going to get you anywhere, because if you have a carriage without a horse, you need a horse owner to come and pull your shit down the road. And we got a lot of Black college graduates sitting in their little weak ass carriages on the side of the road crying because ain't nobody bringing along a horse to help them travel. You ain't going nowhere because you don't have your own power. You don't have your own mobility. You don't have the ability to create opportunity. So you're waiting for someone else to give it to you. So a really good entrepreneur, the reason really good entrepreneurs have an economic magic that college graduates don't typically have is because entrepreneurs aren't just people looking for opportunities. Entrepreneurs are people that know how to create opportunities. Entrepreneurs know how to create situations and money out of thin air. Right. So I'm not saying that college is something you should not do. I'm saying college is an investment that should be optional. But learning financial literacy, wealth building, entrepreneurship, and investing should be absolutely mandatory. Absolutely mandatory. Do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do that. I want to also remind you guys about our social media platform. It's called Blagging Up. I wore the shirt so you would know how to spell it. If you go to blackenough.com, you will actually find a Facebook-like platform where people post all day long, and everybody on Black Enough is pretty black. I'm sure there's some agents in there that are not black, pretending to be black, but it's life. That's life as a black person. But if you go to blackenough.com, that's where you can post, and we don't ban anybody unless you attack somebody or something. But it happens very rarely, so it's not like Facebook. And we created the platform because Facebook eventually is going to kick me off. There at some point, the stuff that I say, it'll get me in trouble. And it's just like when I was little. When I was little, my mother used to say, boy, your mouth will either make you great or get you killed. I'm curious to see which one. And it was funny, I told that to Cornell West when I met him for the first time, like when we had our first really good conversation in person. And he said, I think your mother's right. It'll probably get you both. It'll probably make you great and get you killed. And I was like, that's okay, because everybody's going to die. So at least I get to die for a good reason. Anyway, so long story short, once again, I want to reiterate, I'm not saying don't go to college. The first book I ever wrote when I was working at Syracuse was everything you ever wanted to know about college. And and it's still out there somewhere. And I think it's, and also if you go to thecollegestudentguide.com, thecollegestudentguide.com, I actually lay out all the secrets on how to make straight A's in college. So if you have a child that's going to college, it might be a good gift for them. It's thecollegestudentguide.com, thecollegestudentguide.com. And basically, as a professor, I said, well, the best thing I can do for these Black college students is give them the secrets in terms of things that professors are looking for, how I was able to make straight A's in college. When I was in college, I was a really good student. I was a freshman of the year. The Wall Street Journal outstanding graduating senior. I got 2 bachelor's degrees in 4 years while working a full-time job. I could have got 3 bachelor's degrees. I was about 6 credit hours off from having 3 bachelor's degrees in 4 years. I had a triple major. And so, and the thing was, it was like, once I figured out the secret, it was very easy. So college, is fun. I'm not questioning that. College is helpful. It's a great way to learn. The thing is that there's a lot of learning that can also be done, online. There are great online universities, and a lot of them actually are sort of circumventing college, because they're like, wait a minute, these universities are charging so much money, they're not teaching the students what we need them to know. So actually, I got to look it up, but I think Apple and Google and all these tech companies got together literally and created this online school that literally is like a couple $100s a month, and they teach you exactly what you need to know to come and work for Apple or Google. So even if your long-term play is just to be an employee, then these options are good as well. I think that one benefit of college that I really like is the social aspect, being around a lot of people your same age, which I think is a lot of fun. You meet a lot of girls, and women meet a lot of guys, whatever, and that's cool. But I think that the thing you got to always ask yourself is that worth $300,000-$400,000? Is that worth? I mean, again, if you factor in the student loan debt and the lost wages and everything else, it comes into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Would you pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that? And also, would you risk being in debt for the rest of your life for that? I don't know. So Z Smith says, pardon me, I'm going off topic, but did you hear that the European Parliament passed a resolution a few days ago regarding reparations for crimes against African people? I've heard about different things. I don't know if I heard about that in particular. I'll look it up though. Thank you, Z. Let's see. Would love to hear your take. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to look it up, Z, and I'll see if there's something to be said about that. So that's it. I hope that this conversation doesn't hurt anybody's feelings or make anybody think that I'm telling people not to go to college. I've repeated, I hope, enough times to let you know that I'm not saying don't go to college. I'm just saying that if you go to college, if your child goes to college, the mandatory thing they must know, they must understand, are the pillars of wealth that we teach that in the Black Business School. That means stock and bond investing, real estate investing, and how to start a business. Every child needs to know that and give them some time to practice that, because there will come a day for many of your kids where they're going to do like my daughter did, and they're going to call you upset and mad and crying because of what white people are doing to them on their job, or they're going to call you mad because they can't get the job they're looking for. They're going to be mad because they can't make any money, or whatever it is, right? And what I encourage you to be able to do is to push them toward an alternative that involves just disengaging from the system. When my daughter called me, she was working at Staples or some place, and the white people had her in tears, and she was so mad about this and mad about that. And I was like, look, just come work with me, come work with your dad. And it felt good as a Black man, as a father, to be able to tell her that, as opposed to having to say, well, you know how those white folks are, and here's how you deal with it, and blah, 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 blah. I just saw a video about cancer, and they were talking about one of the major factors in cancer is stress, constant stress, constantly feeling stressed out about something. And tell me, yes or no, is there anything more stressful for a black person going to work every day than deal with them crazy ass white folks on the job? And then it's even worse when you got crazy ass black people too, right? You got butter biscuit eating coons that might drive you just as crazy as the white folks do. But tell me, yes or no, do you know what I'm talking about? Like, that stress kills you. So I would just say, we got to consider other options. We have to step outside the box. And I think this is one solution that you may want to consider. So let me see. I see Nisa Show says, see you on the 19th in Philly. That's awesome. I can't wait to see you too, Nisa. You're a moderator, by the way. I'm going to make you a moderator because since you're family, I want you to have moderator privileges. But yeah, so we're going to be in Philadelphia. I'll be in Philadelphia May 19th. If you're interested in coming to the one-day seminar, and there's a lot of cool stuff's going to happen. And also, I even bring copies of my new book, Black American Money 3, if you guys want to get copies of that. Here it is, by the way. It's got the Harriet Tubman $20 bills on the cover, and I'm really proud of it. It's 450 pages, but it's really good stuff. The chapters in the book consist of let me see, how to quit your job and make money, the 7 golden rules of love and money, 7 golden rules of kids and money, how to be a millionaire by retirement, how to start an investment club, the secret to financial security, etc. So there's a lot of stuff in here that can help you and your family. So feel free. I'll let you guys know when it comes out. I'll release it May 19th when I go to Philadelphia. If you want to come see me in Philadelphia, it's drboycephiladelphia.com. That's drboycephiladelphia.com. Also, the All Black National Convention takes place the weekend of September 27th in Houston. So mark that on your calendar. And also, I hope you'll join Blag Enough, blagenough.com. That's our social media platform for people that look like us. And one thing I always do is to help everybody with our Black history. I pick some Black person that accomplished something economically that none of us know about because we all go to school and learn from white people. So we got some catching up to do. But the melanated mogul of the day is a man by the name of Stephen Smith. Stephen Smith, he was born in 1795. Tell me, yes or no, has anybody heard of Stephen Smith? Yes or no? Yes or no? Anybody heard of Stephen Smith? Give me a yes or no. I bet there's going to be a lot of no's in a minute. Okay, right. There we go. See, I see the no's coming up now. All right, Stephen Smith was born in 1795. He died in 1873. So he lived a nice long life, about 78 years. He started a successful lumber and coal business. He also owned about 50 houses in Philadelphia and more in Lancaster, Columbia, Pennsylvania. Lancaster and Columbia, Pennsylvania in the 1840s. By 1864, Smith was worth $500,000 and was one of the wealthiest Black men in the United States before the Civil War. Wow. 1864. Let me see. Hit the thumbs up button. I'm going to look and see how much $500,000 is in today's dollars. Let me see here. Let me see if I can look this up. $1864 and okay, here we go. Hit the thumbs up button, by the way. Holy crap. That's crazy. This man had so much money. Let me see. He had, oh, wait, hold on. Okay, well, it's a lot, but I guess there's people that have more money than that. $500,000 in 1864 was about $7.6 million today. So, it's not like 100 billion or anything, but it's still a lot of money. So anyway, here's his actual picture. So his name is Stephen Smith, and that is our melanated mogul of the day. And I do this to say ashe to our ancestors, the ones who have been forgotten, many great Black men and women that have been forgotten because we have been educated by our conquerors and our oppressors. And I believe we should retake over that process and make sure we learn about our heroes before we learn about their heroes. They can have their heroes, but we deserve to have our heroes. And I want to raise these people from the dead so that we can celebrate them the way they should be celebrated. I mean, imagine if we all died tomorrow and our great-grandchildren had no memory of us and they were being educated by a bunch of bigots who only taught them about white people or specific Negroes, right? Or they're telling them how great Clarence Thomas was because he was on the Supreme Court or whatever. Like, that's kind of what they do to us. And I think we should be offended by that. So anyway, if you want to get some flashcards, Black History flashcards for your kids, this is actually the Melanated Moguls pack, but we also have Melanated Moguls, Melanated Monarchs, and Melanated Minds, which feature great Black people from history. So to turn your house into a university, which fits with our Black core of 3, which is that every Black person should we should educate our own children, create our own jobs, and support our own businesses. If you want to turn your house into a university, feel free to go to melanatedflashcards.com. That's melanatedflashcards.com. Also, we have the financial flashcards, which are at financialflashcards.com. Financialflashcards.com. And of course, you have financial workbooks like these that cover stock investing, bond, entrepreneurship, stuff like that. So you can go to financialworkbooks.com. So I share this on a regular basis because I want you to know that we have tools that we created just for you. They don't cost that much, and they will make a huge difference in your child's life. And you can have little conversations with your kids about investing just in the context of life. So for example, with our kids, what I do is whenever they ask me for anything, I always use that as an opportunity to push them to learn something financial. So yesterday, I picked up the 11-year-old from soccer practice. She wanted to go to Starbucks and get a pink drink because everybody in her school drinks the pink drinks, right? For some reason. So I was like, I don't know what a pink drink is, but if you want a pink drink, then I need you to promise me that when we get home, you're going to learn 3 financial concepts from the flashcards. And because she wanted something in that moment, she was willing to agree to what I needed. So it wasn't just me saying, yeah, sure, let's just give you something for nothing. It was like, no, you need to understand quid pro quo. You need to understand that knowledge is power, financial literacy is power, and also people who have knowledge are the ones who get the rewards in this society. We must train our kids to believe that because we got too many Negroes out here thinking that you could be a dumbass idiot and still get paid. They watch a reality TV where all the dumbasses are allegedly making millions. They're getting fame. They're getting all this respect for being a fucking dumbass. And then you wonder why we got all these dumbasses and anti-intellectuals in our community. We got people that are running around saying, well, you must think you white because you're trying to read all the time. Like, what the hell is that, man? Seriously, why are you participating in your own oppression? Excuse my French. I'm sorry. I know I get off track. I'm going to hang up. I'm literally going to go now because this stuff really infuriates me. It makes my head fucking explode because it's ridiculous. So we don't want our kids growing up thinking that there are rewards for being a dumbass because if anybody needs to be smart, intelligent, and know how to play chess over checkers, it's got to be Black people because they're trying to take you out every day of the week. So anyway, that's it. I'm about to go. So once again, the workbook is at financialworkbooks.com. Feel free to go check that out. I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day, and thank you for hearing me out. And please share this video. Please hit the thumbs up button. Share it with as many people as possible. And again, I'm not telling you not to go to college. I'm just saying think about it. All right, so I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good day.